Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Josh Shapiro, honored to serve as Pennsylvania's Attorney General. And joining me here today is the City of Philadelphia Inspector General, Alex DeSantis, along with his Deputy Inspector General, Derek Riker. And we're pleased that they are with us here today. I also want to acknowledge some leaders in my office, starting with our Executive Deputy Attorney General, Jennifer Selber, our Chief Deputy Attorney General, Brian Zarallo, our Chief Deputy Attorney General, Kirsten Hine. These folks work together on an important case that I am here to talk about this afternoon. We, of course, know that COVID-19 tested all of us as parents, as members of the community, as small business owners, and, of course, as essential workers. It also exposed deep disparities in our systems. The people who shouldered one of the greatest burdens in the early days of the pandemic were the women and men who, really in a matter of days back in March of 2020, were laid off, were fired due to economic shocks coming from the pandemic. Millions depended at that time on lifeline programs like the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program to pay their mortgage, to pay their electric bill, to put food on the table. And as we know, too much of the money set aside to help people struggling financially at that time, in those early days, was taken advantage of by people scamming and defrauding the system that was designed to help them. Today, I am announcing 8 arrests that my office just made for ripping off taxpayers and stealing these PUA funds. Now, the Office of Attorney General has charged 63 individuals all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for submitting fraudulent PUA applications over the course of roughly the last year. Following a referral from the City of Philadelphia's Inspector General office earlier this year, our agents identified several employees of the City of Philadelphia who fraudulently applied for PUA benefits while still being employed by the city, breaking the law and breaking the trust that these public servants swore to uphold. Our investigation showed that 8 city employees illegally obtained PUA funds in excess of $300,000, and today they have all been criminally charged. Agents discovered that 8 defendants, who we do not believe are linked in any way, fraudulently applied for PUA benefits between February of 2020 and September of 2020, claiming on their applications that their employment ended due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, you have to understand, these individuals didn't just apply for PUA assistance once and got the money. Instead, they had to go online week after week and reaffirm that they were unemployed due to COVID-19. So first they had to put in the application, and then they had to go back and reaffirm over and over and over again that they were unemployed due to the COVID-19 pandemic and that they were entitled to those taxpayer funds. All of this was done while they were still receiving checks from the City of Philadelphia for their work. Our investigation showed that each defendant who independently applied for these benefits received between $17,000 and $63,000 over time. These individuals have been charged with theft by deception, receiving stolen property, and tampering with public records. Look, these arrests are an important reminder that falsely applying for unemployment benefits is a serious crime, and one that we take quite seriously. These individuals took money away from taxpayers. And hear me now, working together with the City of Philadelphia, we will fight to get that money back and return it to the taxpayers. I want to commend the City of Philadelphia, their Inspector General, his team, and the city leadership for investigating this fraud, for coming to law enforcement. And I want to encourage others in positions of authority to do the same, because we know that it's no secret there is more fraud out there. Back in August of 2020, I stood in Pittsburgh with the then United States Attorney for the region, and we announced 33 arrests of individuals defrauding the system. I stood in Harrisburg a month later and announced 20 additional arrests for the same crimes. I announced earlier this year that 9 out-of-state individuals stole more than $900,000 from this program. Look, these arrests and those that came before them should serve as a warning to individuals who made claims fraudulently and took advantage of a government program set up to help those who were legitimately impacted by this pandemic. A program that was a lifeline for those who didn't know how they were going to make rent, how they were going to put food on the table or pay their bills at a scary time when they suddenly found themselves out of work. These funds were not for people, especially those in public service. Well, it was not for them. The people that had the privilege of staying employed, the people that had the privilege of continuing to earn a paycheck when so many others didn't receive theirs, the people that didn't deserve this money. If you are watching this, I want to speak very clearly to you. If you stole cash during the pandemic by fraudulently applying for PUA benefits, turn yourself in to the State Department of Labor and Industry and get on a payment plan immediately to repay these funds that you stole. Repay the funds that you stole from the taxpayers. Do the right thing, because if you don't, you are potentially facing very serious criminal charges. The Department of Labor has set up a fraud hotline. That number is 1-800-692-7469. They also have a website, benefits.uc.pa.gov. However you reach out to them, do it now. Tell them what happened and get on a repayment plan immediately. Do not wait for the Office of Attorney General to knock on your door. As many waited and filed and struggled, these 8 individuals cashed in. And we know they weren't alone. Our investigation into PUA fraud is ongoing, but I really want to urge Pennsylvanians, don't wait for us to find you. Check your conscience and self-report this stolen money immediately. This case should serve as an example of what will happen to you if you do not heed this warning. And with that, I'm more than happy to try and answer your questions. And again, want to thank our partners in the city of Philadelphia for being here and thank our great team for their work in bringing this case forward and for the ongoing investigation for other cases as well. The floor is yours. No? Okay. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.